Hi, I'm John, the PP Power for Poor People engineer, and I'm going to tell you about my 28-day fast. I'm at the Brantford Inventors Club. This is August the 14th, 2013. This is our regular Wednesday night at the Station restaurant in Brantford. And I want to explain to these inventing fans about some new stuff I learned. Before I started my fast, I saw a video by a Dr. Lodi, and he noted that healthy people have a certain amount of cyclical AMPs, whatever they are, gizmos inside you that help do good stuff. And in each cell there's one cyclical GMP. It's like a used up spent cartridge, okay? And in cancer people, the ratio is reversed, so that people with cancer, they have one cyclical EMP and 5 cyclical GMPs, like 5 used cartridges for every one ready to go. But he said if you go on a starvation diet for 5 days, you can reverse that completely. So those anti-cancer fighting elements within you become reversed within 5 days of a starvation diet. Well, you know, I've been talking about Fukushima and sucking in nuclear fallout for the last 2.5 years. People think I'm pretty hysterical about it. But finding some way to turn off the cancers that I'm bound to be getting, you know, with all this fallout in me, interests me. So I started my fast. Now, I cheated. 7th day, I was in Ottawa. Gotta go to Louis Pizza, it's a tradition. Best pizza in the world. And then 15 days later, had to go to a Chinese buffet. Okay. And then last weekend, I think the 20th or so day, it was the barbecue and steak. I went there too. Can't be a fanatic, right? And so here I am now, 28 days. I had a few nibblings, suck on a watermelon once in a while, had a little piece of pepperoni and a piece of cheese, but imagine 28 days with only that for food. Not lost 10, 12 pounds, but I want to explain why that works. What's so great about starving your body? I reversed my diabetes in just 11 days by going on a starvation diet. Came out August the 6th on my 20th day of fasting. Explaining stuff. And in 11 days, this guy went from diabetic to no more diabetes in 11 days of not even a starvation diet. It was a low-calorie diet. He had 800 calories a day. Now, how many can I get from sucking a watermelon? You know, I don't know, but nowhere near 800. But what's interesting about this guy, now it says here that scientists from Newcastle devised a radical low-calorie diet, 800. Drastic dieting causes the body to go in starvation mode and burns fat stores of energy and the fat around the organs first. So, a study in 2011 at Diabetologia found that 11 type 2 diabetics followed the diet and all reversed their diabetes in under 8 weeks. Low calorie intake.
Wow.
Now this guy did it in 11 days with a really low one, but let's continue. He survived on soup, 2 shakes, and a green veg. Okay. It says, now his report after 1 day, hunger was never far away. And it's true. Okay. I mean, I've not eaten before in the past, and after 1 or 2 days, it's starting to growl. And no amount of water's going to fix this. And day 4, you know, you start to feel weak, you know. Climbing up the stairs is hard, you know. He slogged. He felt lethargic and tired. This is after 4 days. After 8 days, he's dazed, and on certain days, he's walking as an effort. I'm 28 days, and I haven't felt weak or hungry once. Except for the 3 pig outs that were parties, okay? They're okay. What can I say? All right? Now, day 6, he wore 4 layers of clothes to keep warm, okay? And his fingers grew numb. Gee, geez, mine should be falling off by now. You know, 4 days, this guy, 6 days. I'm 28. So anyway, constipation set in. Gee, he must have been eating something. I didn't get no constipation. Anyway, finally, how does it end now? So he stuck to his fast, his diet for 11 days, and reduced his blood sugar to healthy. And when he went for his tests, wow, another guy says his diabetes started to be reversed almost overnight. And so basically it led to a sudden shift of fat away from the liver and pancreas, and this can strip the fat out of the liver and the pancreas. And what's brilliant is that it works so quickly. Now, you want to walk like this for 11 days? What am I doing differently that I can be 28 days and still dancing around? Oi! Now next, more about starvation first before we get to the punchlines. All right. Why fast? Part 2 about cancer. So instead of using medicine, rather fast a day. So basically, the most natural response of all animals when they're sick is to stop eating. Gee, that's pretty smart when you think about it. How come we don't do that? Ice cream, chocolate, please! I'm sick. So, normal cells go into survival mode during starvation, but cancer cells are always on. They can't go into starvation mode. There is no novel survival mode to switch on. So starvation-dependent stress protects normal cells, but not cancer cells. Even a modified alternate day of fasting with mice reduced proliferation rates of tumor cells. This 85% fasting regimen was even more effective than full 100%. Well, I don't know about that, but maybe who knows. And most recently, Longos found that fasting both retarded the growth of tumors and nothing much more we needed highlighted. So basically, in a nutshell, when you stop eating, so when the immune system has to deal with food, that's 70% of the immune system's function, because that's the main load of toxins and things coming in that have to be searched regularly to see what gets in, what gets out. So, if you don't eat, you free up your immune system. That whole extra 70% can be devoted to everything else. Step 1, immune system amplification by freeing it up from dealing with the digestive properties its major duty is. Step 2, when you go into cannibalism mode, your body starts to do what's called autolysis, L-Y-S-I-S. And that is the body cannibalizing its own cells. This is not autophagy that people have heard about, where a cell, eats up some bad stuff in the cell. This is the whole cell being eaten so that the other ones can survive. So, what do you think your body's going to choose to eat first? A brain cell or a fat cell? A fat cell. What do you think the body's going to choose to eat first and cannibalize first with autolysis? Heart cell, lung cell, or a tumor cell? Tumor cell. And they're the first to go, which is why people on long fasts have managed to beat their cancers. Now we understand why that effect happens. There's the autolysis that destroys the tumors before any of the good stuff. Well, fat first, and I don't mind your fat going, but after that, tumors and other bad stuff. So, that is the advantage of a long starvation diet. Now, John Armstrong, who wrote an infamous book, wasn't a doctor, had many miracle cures. He once said he fasted a guy 101 days. And there have been many reports of 49, 48 in his book, 7 weeks. Here I am at 4, and I'm wondering, geez, how long can this last before I get hungry or a week,
Depends on how many parties he goes to.
Well, 1 a week seems a reasonable limitation on my experience. I admit it.
I think 1 a week can keep you going for a long time.
Okay, so now, how could a person go 3 months more without any food? Where are you going to get the vitamins, minerals, hormones, enzymes, all those antibodies, antiseptics you need to survive without food to have your body manufacture and make it into. Only one source. PP power for poor people. See my videos on YouTube. Urine is not a dirt product. I call it kidney milk. I coined the expression. Milk is a product of the blood captured by the mammaries for kids, babies. Urine is a product of the blood captured by the kidneys added to sterile water for adults. Now, why would it do this? Here's what I found out this week. This is mind-blowing. In his book, you pee on a cut, you won't have a scar. The flesh will grow back. He calls it liquid flesh. What's going on? I mean, there's bone, and maybe there's blood vessel, there's muscle, neurons, nerves. How can it all be replaced and fixed? What's going on? How can anything cleanse? Urine fix all this? Here's the great story. Urine stem cells to grow teeth in China. Did you know that the kidneys capture stem cells? You know what stem cells are? Call them magic cells. They can become anything. They can become teeth, they can become enamel, they can become pulp, they can become anything. So, if you're putting a bunch of sterile water with a bunch of stem cells on an open cut, what do you think's happening? The stem cells are becoming muscle and neurons and whatever they bump into that needs joining, like a magic cement, which is why urine has so many miracles reputed for exterior use. Now, what freaks people out is interior use. Vitamins, minerals, hormones, enzymes, antiseptics, antibiotics, stem cells, everything good your body can possibly produce in one elixir available to you. And when you put it back, is it going to upset the immune system? No. It's exactly the stuff it wants, but in pre-built units. Now some people say, yeah, but there's dirt in the urine too. There are, some byproducts that are no good. Assume there are. Some bad stuff. It's coming out of the bloodstream, and it's getting back into the digestive system, and maybe it might not make it through the immune system another time. At least you're getting it out of the bloodstream, and you're putting it into the exit chute, right? Now, it might get sucked in again, but maybe the kidneys will pick it up and show it out again, but at some point, it'll go straight out the exit chute. So that basically is why the urine therapy reintroduces all those vitamins and minerals, and that's how people who drink all their urine on a fast, and after a day it's tasteless, it's like water, okay? And because there's nothing there to make it bad, but how can they survive 101 days? By replacing the vitamins, minerals, things they need, and recycling them. So I tried it. And for the last 28 days, I've tried to chug everything that comes out of me. And it's absolutely not nasty. It's completely innocuous, especially after a couple of days of no food. It's so clear. I was joking to a dealer at the casino I was telling the story to, because I had a cup of tea. I take a little bit of dilute iced tea for the sugar, and the rest is water, so it looks very yellow. And so I joked to the guy, I said, people might think this is what they think it is when I'm talking about this. My stuff's a lot clearer. You think it was water. So if it's yellow, you know it's tea. Anyway, 28 days later, I haven't felt one hunger pang. I felt temptation to taste something. And I'll even go grab a little sliver of kielbasa and suck on it and spit it out, Same with watermelon. Anyway, the point is, you don't need to go crazy, but I think I've done as much as I can to bring my body to starvation mode as possible. And by using the urine therapy, I've managed to pull off 28 days without undergoing any of the effects described by this guy who cured his diabetes in 11 days. If I had diabetes coming on, I bet you it's gone. So anyway, that's my report on how my 28-day fast has been accomplished because I've been chugging all of my miracle water, my kidney milk, and I've never felt hungry or weak once. So I just advise you that not only that, the final best part is Fukushima. The fallout gets into us through the water and milk and cheese, because cows eat the grass with all the stuff and it's concentrated, which is why all the babies die off first with the milk. Okay, but water is the next biggest one that you get ingesting, and I've cut back my water intake by 2/3. I only need like 1 20-ouncer of water in a day, and everything else is all my own. Oh, a couple of cups of coffee and cheese, okay? And, but nevertheless, that's it. You don't get me drinking 2-3 liters a day no more. It's down to like 20 ounces, half a liter. And I'm recycling all the rest. So I'm also minimizing my intake from the fallout water. So if you are ailing in any way, oh, final testimony. My mother, just before she died, had a leg cut off from gangrene due to Raynaud's disease. And then her other one had now inflamed up to twice its size. And as a final resort, we stuck her on a urine fast. And after exactly 5 days, all the inflammation disappeared and she went back to normal. And then the doctor says the poison might have gone up her leg and killed her. So, you know, successful operation, lose the patient. But anyway, it worked for inflammation. And if you go by John Armstrong's book, I call him a doctor because he was an innovator and honestly reported what he did. And he made many fascinating experiments. This thing cures everything, miracle water. So it's called urine therapy by Armstrong. And if you do a research, you'll find out that, wow, this is spectacular stuff. And all of his treatments said they got nothing to do with diagnosis. I don't care what ails you, I'm going to stick you on a fast, drinking your own urine, and if that doesn't cure you in 20 days, then we'll think about something else. Try 40. That's it. Yes, now, Bill.
What kind of flavor that urine has?
Well, if you drink a couple, I advise people, if you're going to start, eat a couple of pears. Because for some reason, the kidneys just love pears. And if you're going to try it the first time, it may as well be really sweet. And put it in a wine glass and say a little prayer. Thank you, God, for this magnificent positive feedback loop of the best medicines produced by my bone marrow. Before you have a sip and be surprised by the sweet taste of pears and then chug the rest. But I tell you, the next morning, in the morning, you can expect it to be more medicinal like Listerine because your bone marrow has been repairing all night. So there's a lot more good medicinal stuff, and it's a lot yellower in the morning. But that's not bad, that's good. But also when you're sick, then it'll really be yellow. Because there's a lot of fighting going on, a lot of stuff had to be produced. But if you're not sick, and you don't eat any meat with steroids, you taste those. You taste the steroids in the meat, and you stop eating that much meat. But anyway, the taste, it actually goes away and you start choosing a diet that makes it taste good. And nothing makes it. So at this stage in a fast, it's completely nothing. I just chug it all and finish it all. But if I leave it there 3-4 hours, I'm on you. There's stuff in there. There's good stuff in there. But you don't know it when it's coming out. So, it tastes nothing, Bill. You just gotta...
How much urine do you gotta drink per day?
Well, it's one other thing too. I found that if I could be passing out maybe 16 ounces, chugging it right away, and 45 minutes later, another one, and chugging it right away, and another. And I'm saying, can this kind of constant flushing be bad? I don't think so. Can you? But I mean, it really. I did 48 ounces one day, not counting my coffee and my water, and it was really, wow, I can't see how it can be bad. Yes?
In support of what you're doing, John, about 2.5 months ago, I hadn't really told anybody except Rosha. I've been on this stuff on and off for 25 years, okay, but what I do, I add a little bit of that earth salt on about the 3rd or 4th day to keep the mineral up, and Bruce's colloidal silver.
Yeah, I was
It
gonna
helps
say,
them.
I haven't stopped my vitamins, by the way.
No, but the colloidal silver to it,
Yeah.
what a difference. And I've lost like 35 pounds without doing anything. No exercise, just puttering around the yard.
That's true, don't stop your vitamins. I mean, I don't wanna go nuts, but I mean, yeah, keep doing your colloidal silver. I do my glucosamine for my arthritis, and B17, and iodine drops.
Yeah.
Don't stop those,
And
it's
Like
food.
you're saying, in India, they call it Shivambu, and they got another name for it, which you mentioned earlier. But doctors over there will recommend this over pharmaceuticals.
Well, I found the first time in 1996 an article that said 600 doctors in India report 73% cancer cure rates with urine therapy. Cut it out, stuck it in my journal. Now, the year before, Morarji Desai, the Prime Minister of India, who's in the Guinness Book of Records on the same page as me, for being the oldest Prime Minister in history, 99 years old, Morarji Desai, and he was laughed at by the world when he admitted to the world he drank a glass of his urine every morning all his life. Mr. Prime Minister at 99.
Gandhi too.
I'm sure. All the wise people in India know about this. As a matter of fact, urine from cows is the best, I hear. And now they market it in India. Okay, there's something to do with the four stomachs and the quality of cow urine from healing. Spectacular advantages, so much so it's commercially marketed in India, and we should do it here. So. Hey, some farmer out there, you find a way of milking that cow's urine and I'll drink that kidney milk. You think his regular milk's good from the tits? Try the kidney milk from the bladder. Okay, that's my report tonight on my...
It's funny, 2 days ago I mentioned to Andy here exactly what you're talking about, and then he looked at him and insisted, "What urine?" I said, "Well, you're going to hear more about it. Very soon you're going to hear more about it." Not knowing that you're going to be speaking tonight.
Well, I just announced it this morning.
No, but I didn't know this.
Oh, yeah.
But 2 days ago I was talking with him and his sister goes, "Yeah." I said, hey, look it up.
Camera's still on?
Yeah. Okay, we will shut it off and now you can all go...
So you're gonna go